The information you consistently receive from the agency determines how you will think, feel, and act, and defines the way a relationship should be. Challenges, as it were, but you want to improve the quality of your relationship. You know, you guys can do better as a couple. How do you go about? How do you go about it? How do you increase the connection and engagement and friendship that exists and truly become one in another dimension, to open new doors of togetherness? How do you achieve that? That's the question you have asked. Before we go into the couple, let's look at the factors that affect each of you. I'll look at 3 factors. The first is you as an individual. The second is the agency that drives you primarily. And then the third is your relationships. Those 3. You, the agency, and your relationship or the couple. For you to improve the quality of any relationship, you have to understand you as an individual, the agency that drives you as an individual, and then the influence of those 2 things you will see in the relationship. So let's look at something. The primary agency that drives you, for example, might be your family, your church, or your education. The primary. There are several agencies that will inspire the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act. The information you consistently receive from the agency determines how you will think, feel, and act, and defines the way a relationship should be. So you are consistently instructed by your agent, by the primary agency that drives you. So the first thing you need to do is to identify the primary agency that drives you as an individual. What is that agency? The second thing is to become aware of you as an individual. What impact has this agency had on me? Who have I become? What do I do? How do I respond? How do I think? Who am I? What's my identity? There are 5 levels of relationships that you have with yourself, or with yourself and things around you. The first is your relationship with your source, God, the Spirit of God. That's the first one. That relationship, the definition, the engagement you have affects the way you relate with in your marriage. The second is the relationship you have with yourself, who you have defined yourself to be, how you have defined yourself, what you have defined yourself to be. And if you are comfortable with you, if you have a strong sense of identity, and that your identity was not hinged on the relationship externally. So, and you're also aware of the impact of the agency on you. So the first relationship is the relationship with God. The second relationship is the relationship with yourself. The third relationship with your family. What's the level of relationship you have with your family? I.e., your mother, your father, and your siblings, or maybe extended. What kind of relationship do you have with them that primarily interprets what love, affection, family, and care is before you entered into a marriage relationship? So you draw thoughts and effect from there. Now, you see, you asked me a question: how can I improve the quality of my relationship with my spouse at midlife? And why do I have to go through all that? Because we have to go to the foundation and look at where you are drawing from. So you understand the relationship you have with your family. Also understand the relationship you have with your friends and colleagues. This, you and your friends and colleagues, how do you relate with them? That's where you learn the basic sense of empathy, of social connection, of the will to extend support. As friends have events, do stuff, you show yourself as a true friend. If you want friends, you must first show yourself friendly. That's where you practice, or you practiced all those things in the natural sense, where it's not tied into a marriage relationship, where there is a sense of obligation by force or by law or by religion, whatever it is. But just in the natural sense of my relationship with my friends. And then finally, my relationship with things, articles, my relationship with my car, my assets, my property, you know that. Am I unusually attached to things, items, shoes, bags, homes, cars? And do I show more affection and attention to those things than I do a human being? These 5 levels, you need to assess each of them. Now, once you have done that, now let's come to the marriage. Now that you know there's an agency that influences you, there is you that you define yourself, and there's that couple. Now, I've talked about the agency, which can be your church, your school, your family. That's the agency that primarily influences the way you think and act and feel. Then you, how you have defined yourself. Now, the marriage relationship you have. Before you go to marriage, all those things have affected you. Then you brought yourself to the marriage. That is where the challenge is. For some, their primary agency is social media. So once they get home, they're going to act in accordance to what social media has instructed them to act. For some, it's their mother. So they're going to act in accordance to that. So if you want the quality of your marriage relationship to improve, first deal with those 5 relationship levels and those 3 components that I showed you. Who are you? What are you? Where did you come from? What are you about? What's your vision? Answer that question for you. Then look at your agency. What is it about you? And then finally, what do I want to see in my marriage moving forward? Guess what? For some people, they have to sit down and say, hey, my wife or my husband, I think I need to tell you something. I've not lived my best life. The highest agency in my life was my crazy friend, and it influenced the way I loved you, but I changed. That's the first that we need to do.